welcome to Thoughts. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't a Thoughts episode. Well, maybe it is. Who knows? This is Josie James, and welcome to Thoughts. Okay, real quick, this is more of an addendum, adding on to episode 26. And forgive me, I've got the sniffles, and I've been working my butt off at a couple places where I'm like this, and dead tired, so hurting a little bit. Joe's on Facebook, and we're going to hook up a Facebook page about what we're trying to do with the Prince of the Amazons. Now, we realize that a lot of people have no clue what this is about. They're like, okay, they're trying to put together and make faces up. We better explain. What we have is, so far, is part of a script that we're still working on. We have the costume. Well, the first costume. Still other costumes have to be either made, or we're going to have to purchase. We're like, right now, trying to put on a pair of shoes that have no shoestrings in them, and they're not loafers. Yeah, we're working on a shoestring budget with no shoestrings. That's why one of the things we're trying to work towards is a Kickstarter program, which is, as I brought up in the last episode. We're trying to figure out where we're going to shoot, locations, things like that. That's why, we put out the plea for help, because we've got some people that are willing and more than willing to help and act. Oh, we don't have enough. And this is quite literally what started out as a Halloween joke a couple of years ago has turned into a real ambition. We really want to do this. And now, if anyone's curious about what's going on, just go to, and we're going to put this with this when we repost it. Go to our YouTube channel. It's Prince Quasar. Hopefully it should be appearing right here, right below my face. That's what you type in, PRINCEQUASAR. One word, no spaces in between, because they wouldn't let us put space in between. Don't ask us why. But, it's actually Joe's channel, and I just got involved in it and kind of became the face of the Prince Quasar channel. But if you take a look through, you'll see our special effects tests, things like that. As I said, it started out as kind of a joke from a Halloween slideshow. The character was there. So for some of you that are wondering, what the heck are we talking about? The story is about Hippolytus. He's an Amazon. He's the only male Amazon born to it. Okay, there are a couple of honorary Amazons, like I think Steve Trevor a couple times is supposedly an honorary Amazon, things like that. But Hippolytus is the only male Amazon. Now, we've got in mind for future episodes things that are going to be, looking at this aspect of this character. So, as I said, we're kind of like trying to build up a foundation to this, and we keep floundering a bit, but we keep striving forward. If you watch your channel, you'll see special effects have gotten better, things like that. Because Joe, who of course is the special effects editor, as he's gotten better programs, he's got 3 different programs right now that he works with, that are editing programs that he goes through a lot of fun with. I've seen what he goes through. He does sound effects. He's trying to create background music that'll work. We've got a Fujifilm camera. That's what we use. But it's actually just a standard camera. Okay, if I had a mirror, I'd hold it up and you could see it. But it also has video on it, and that's why we have to always work on increasing sound productivity, things like that. So, as I said, this is a dream that I myself, and I know Joe, we really do want to see this happen. listen, we're looking at how we're going to do the Kickstarter program, and part of it is we're both working to try and save up money, which is anyone knows in this economy, as long as we have to get the Kickstarter program going, but part of it, you also have to have money to be able to do the Kickstarter program, to be able to have it. So, which only makes sense. But me and Joe are also the types that, as we get the money and we go get stuff, what we need, we do it. Like one of the things we need, because with the costume, if you go back to Further Thoughts episode, you see we've got a new belt for the costume. I think it makes me look better. Because normally with the original belt, the red shirt would spill out, and I look, well, if you look up Wonder Who, you'll see it. I look pudgier than I am. And if you watch the previous episode, you know that I suffered from abdominal bruising not so long ago, so I put on some weight, and I'm trying to get it back off. But the red definitely has a tendency to make you look expanded. Not a good thing. So, to give you an idea, we've got part of a script. Right now, also, this is Joe's laptop's here, but unfortunately it's got a crack in the screen, so we're using a monitor that we've hooked into the laptop so we can get the laptop fixed. Again, more of this going out the pocket, so it's all some work. I'm going to read you down, actually, Hippolytus's thing, what we call the character biographies, and this just gives some basics on it. Of course, he was set up with the secret identity of Richard King. He is paying homage to the original Wonder Woman TV show with Linda Carter. He is a junior grade field agent for the IADC, or the Interagency Defense Command. He's also a part-time college student at Capital State Community College. This is so we're setting it background, and we also have that the Justice League has put out a statement about him, but in order to save the problems about secret identity, they're lying and saying he's living on an invisible floating island. No. But the last episode, of course, I showed you what the ghost copter looked like, which is, of course, only this big. So we're also trying to figure out how we're going to do scenes where I'm supposedly stepping into it, but we're going to try and avoid that. If you think about it, you never saw Linda Carter getting into the invisible jet. You just saw her flying it, or sometimes there's a back of view and there's a Barbie doll sitting in it. But at least they were giving it a try. And no, not iced coffee this time, just a really cheap type of pop. Because we're on a budget. So, but that's what the show is about. And if you really want to know more about that, as far as Hippolytus' origins in Greek mythology, I actually suggest looking him up using YouTube, Wikipedia. Do be careful, because there's also a Hippolytus who's one of the Titan giants that was trying to kill the Olympians. So there's technically two Hippolytuses there. That'll give you some of his origin, but we've altered it up to where to fit with the comic books. He has the older sister Thea. No one knows what's happened to her, but she, believe it or not, is in the storylines. She's just, it's one of those mystery characters if you don't know she's there. Okay. Running down, okay, we're changing up part of the myth on it that Theseus put a curse on him, blaming Hippolytus for the death of his wife, Queen Phaedra. We're having him said that he was actually put on trial for her suicide, that she was actually innocent of. Him being royalty would have had to drink the hemlock. Thea did a little something to the hemlock to where it didn't kill him. Just put him into a deep sleep until an Amazon champion came and woke him up. That would have been Princess Diana, Wonder Woman. So, making that real quick. In her secret identity is Diana Prince, and we're going back to the pre-New 52 stuff where she's Diana Prince working for DOMA, or the Department of Medical Affairs. That to us seems to be more, nothing against what they're doing now with Wonder Woman, but we're still kind of going, daughter of Zeus? It kind of defeats what the original storyline was about, that she was molded in clay and the reasons why. That she was supposed to become something important and special. But daughter of Zeus? How many children of Zeus are there? Come on. that man got around more times, and I'm not even going to go into my thoughts on that. Now, that's kind of him, but we don't want it to be just about him. So we have created, based off of other characters, other heroes that'll be, they won't be in the first episode other than in their secret identities, but this will also be kind of like their origin stories. Okay, for instance, Major Marvel. This is technically an offshoot of Captain Marvel, the one who's Shazam. But with him, he's out on a camping trip. He gets a mysterious man appears through a vortex, hands him a belt, says, "Rub the buckle thunder," and you'll understand the man disintegrates into ashes. He puts the buckle on, rubs it, says thunder, and turns into Major Marvel. Okay. And to answer some questions, because while I'm thinking about it, as I'm going through these, I was trying to warn people that some of the characters don't have your standard normal sexuality. Major Marvel is one of them. He is bisexual. Okay. Sexuality really won't play much into this, but there will be some romantic storylines, things like that going on, so we really don't know which direction we're going in with this. So as I'm going through these and I'm mentioning the characters, giving you a quick update on it. Okay. The next one is Foxwing. She will technically be, she's secretly a vampire, but she has a hormone that keeps her from, needing blood or sunlight or any of those problems that she takes. But she's been trying to lead her normal life. Some things happen. That's actually in the first episode with her. And so she decides she's had enough and she's going to use her vampire abilities to stop things like that. She becomes Foxwing, modeling herself after Batman. So, Colonel Rebecca Kimbers, she's the director of IADC. Real quick on her, she's a widow. Her husband used to be also a director of the IADC, but he was killed protecting somebody. So she's former Air Force with her. She's a pilot. Then there's Maxwell Werbers, who will be the senior agent to Hippolytus, IADC agent. He's a divorcee because his wife is nuts. There's actually going to be a storyline on why she's nuts. Okay, then we have the character Time Warp. He's from far in the future. He's a mutant. I know in DC Comics they're kind of slid away from mutants because of X-Men, but they actually have the first mutant in the comic books, and that was Captain Comet. So as far as I'm concerned, they should be able to use the term. I think I was trying to copyright standard used words, in fiction, things like that. Mutant, big deal. So he's a mutant from the future. His power, strength, and are time-related. And he ends up coming back to the class and happened to avoid one of Richard King's college friends, because the friend is his ancestor. And in that case, it will actually be played by the exact same actor. Okay, we're going to be doing those little split timing where, you're like, great-great-grandfather will be here in 30 seconds. I got to get out of here. And the same actor will come around in different clothes. Did somebody say my name? Little jokes like that. What we're going to be trying for is this, as I said, we're trying to keep it serious. We do want the incidental humor there, where it's funny as far as, no one cracked a joke and it was ha-ha, but it was, kind of the groaners, but we're not going to have them be groaners as much, as someone pointed out, me and Joe's skits where we're testing out special effects have been cheesy. After all, he even did one on that where we were talking about cheese. But that's the basics on Time Warp. Running down real quick on some of the villains that will be appearing in later episodes. On the first episode, the main villain and some villainess is called the Sorceress, and she has henchmen, and that's where the storyline is going to revolve around, is on that storyline, and just talking about Hippolytus and a little bit of his past and how he came to be in this situation. That's actually already in the script so far. But now talking about some of the villains that we're trying to work on, there's the Skunk. It's a criminal who has invented a type of knockout gas that it's pretty much the stink of it that knocks you out. And he wears a skunk type costume. Kind of sounds silly, but that's, if you take a look at some of the characters that have actually been in comic books, this is actually mild. Okay, there's what's on the sorceress. She's a well-known underground figure, but more on that as we actually get to it. Next one, Zombie King. That's again a villain. He'll be exactly what he sounds. He's a voodoo master. Okay. The Quizzler, which we lost the actor for the Quizzler, unfortunately. As was a friend of mine, as I said, he wanted to play the part of the Quizzler, and now he's living down in Florida, working for Disney, and we're saying good luck. So, apparently he's having a lot of fun from what I've seen so far. And the next character coming up is a character called the Madman. He's a mental patient and a psychopathic killer. So every time they catch him, they put him back in the insane asylum. The only thing that's going to be known about him, because they don't even know his name, they can't find out any information on him, fingerprints, nothing. He just seems to be a really well-trained military man and likes to kill as many people as possible, so that's going to be interesting. Next one is a Hocus Pocus, who is a villain, stage magician, socialite thief. With that, we actually originally had planned for Hocus Pocus to also be played by the person who's going to be played by the person who was supposed to play Penelope, the Amazon, who is Hippolytus' mentor from Themyscira, also called Paradise Island, and keeping an eye on him while the ruling council of Amazon tries to figure out what are they going to do. So, I'm running down real quick, and I'm just trying to go through these real quick. Ghost Woman, this one's already been determined. A friend of mine has said she wants to play this part, period. This is kind of a Mae West type character. If you don't know who Mae West is, you don't know film, look her up. She was the original Sexy. Okay, let's put it that way. She was the original Sexy. She was on Launch Come Up and See Me Sometime. But this woman happens to be trained to kill men, especially men who are cheating on their significant others. So that's going to also play around in it. Jazz Cat. This is a Robin Hood type cat burglar real quick. We already have it. I'm supposed to be playing that part, so I'm just going to bring it up real quick. This will be when times when Hippolytus has gone off maybe just go visit the Queen Aunt Hippolyta, and discuss things, and the other heroes will be happy to either try and stop him, or in most of the cases, because he's a Robin Hood type cat burglar, and he doesn't rob the rich, he actually pinpoints out dirty rich, evil rich, bad guy rich, mobsters, mafia, things like that. That they're, seem to be squeaky clean, but he's robbing them blind. So, you get the point. With him, though, he's very much into jazz, and a very good cat burglar. As far as we're concerned, he's going to be on the equivalent of some of the other more famous comic book cat burglars. But he likes to have jazz music playing, and he always kind of moves in a very dance rhythmic thing when he's robbing the place. So for some reason, he will always somehow manage to have a sound system going on, and if there are security guards or whatever going on, they're trying to figure out why they're hearing jazz music while he's robbing the place blind. So, well, I'm trying to keep this just as quick as we can. Next one, we've already got, again, an actor for this one. This is Ragnarok. This will be Hippolytus' toughest opponent. Ragnarok is not actually a villain, per se, but the man has orders to capture Hippolytus and bring him back to a certain place, or if he does not want to come back, kill him. So, it's going to be rather interesting. And then another character we've got for future episodes is let me try and pronounce this. It's Muspel Gotterdammerung, which is German, and he's a very rich businessman, but he's actually a Nazi. Yeah, we're bringing Nazis into this. And this guy plans, of course, trying to take over the world secretly and sneakily. His second in command is supposed to be a Marx Jaller. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, German. It might be pronounced Fowler, because it's F-J-A-L-A-R. I'm not sure. I might have to look this up. Who's the second in command and seems to be very persuasive. Okay. The next one, this is interesting. I'm actually taking from a couple of different legends, myths, and combining it. But Hotherus, who will be a demigod. Let me find him. Okay. Where's that? Okay, he's an ancient blind demigod. Archery, he uses a sword, he has a bristle of defense, a victory girdle belt, he's from a Danish-Swedish type origins, and he blames Hippolytus for some things that happened in the past and finds out the politics is still alive, so he comes out of retirement and tries to cause some trouble there. And then we've got some Nordic myths that we're trying to figure out how we're going to do them, but Gomer, which is okay, wait, no it's not. History stories. Okay, this is not on, there must be another notes. But apparently, Philippe's supposed to be a type of hellhound. And that's what we've got so far besides minor characters like newscaster or, and that's the gist of what we're trying to do. If you go through, we have worked out how to do various things, like how to hook up flying scenes. If you watch the prior episode, you see that we do know how to do the green screen, but we need to get a better green screen. It's all in the budget. One of the things we're actually looking at right now is trying to figure out how we're going to do location shoots, which is going to be a toughie, like we're going to need an office setting, things like that. One of the things that we were actually looking at is maybe renting out one of those storage spaces, and if we can find what size things like that are, and we have to build a set in there. But the problem is, one of some of those storage places, they can be very hot during the summer and very cold during the winter, but we'll work it out. If we have to, we'll figure out something if we have to, advertise and hook up actual commercials to some businesses saying, hey, yeah, we'll willingly help you if you'll, like, hey, if we can use your office space, we're good. So, as I say, I'm talking kind of quick, so if you need to slow this down and say why, but I'm trying to keep from running into the YouTube thing of, 20 minutes, it's over 20 minutes, so because, we're not hooked up with the net here. We're actually having to go and download and do everything else at a library computer until we can get everything fixed up. So that's what we're trying to do, and that hopefully I've answered a lot of the questions that have been asked of Joe so far on Facebook. So, hopefully the next episode, as I said, this is just an addendum episode, so we're not going to actually put a number on this. We're just going to say, episode, not an episode. That's what we're going to do. So, hopefully I've answered a lot of questions, and I know we're going to run into more. We've already had some remarks and someone saying they can write, but they're clear from Michigan. And there actually is a format for script writing that if it's done right, except for maybe fight scenes, things like that, each page is the equivalent of about a minute length if you follow it right. So that's why you also always do a reading and you time it. So you can see how long it is, if it needs to be cut, trimmed, whatever. So, hopefully this has answered some of the questions that have been asked, and if you watch this and now you're starting to get the idea of what we're trying to do and how crazy we're going, or if you happen to be some multi-billionaire somewhere who says, hey, I know how to do that, here's some money, we're all open for that, okay? As long as we're not trying to compromise morals or anything, or happen to suddenly be trying to kiss some political parties, but if you've watched any of my Thoughts episodes, I don't, never mind. But as far as political parties and things like that, always trying to keep the show very honest. After all, if you actually go back, you'll see where I actually even put someone on Front Street for lying on my show. So, but now you kind of understand what we're going through, and we're still going. We have no budget. We're trying to get a budget. We have the camera, we have the editing equipment, we have a costume that's still being worked on, we still have other costumes we have to get. We're all at the pre-beginning trying to get this into what's called pre-production, which is kind of what we're doing right now. We're planning, we're trying to work things out, we're trying to save what we can, trying to build up what we can, but it's tough, for those shows that have got it down pat and know what they're doing, for some of the fan films that I've seen so far, me and Joe looked through to see how they did things, check them out, and a couple of them were going, there was one that we tried to keep them laughing about that they were doing a character who swims on webs, that's all I'm going to say, just in case there's a copyright problem. But when the character went to swing on web, it was one of the dolls. They couldn't do a green screen, That would have been real easy. You know, it's just some of the special effects had us going, oh, they had no budget at all. You know, but we're trying to, do things to where we've got, as someone said, they like what we're doing so far, but it also has kind of a homey feel to it, and they hope we don't change that too much. Well, we're actually trying for quality here. We want, things to be as top-notch as we possibly can be. We want to be taken seriously on this. We want the incidental humor there. We always think that's really the funniest. It's incidental humor. It's not like, someone trips and falls, you worry about them, but you can't help laughing because it was funny. Or someone just missed somebody by that much. It's funny. And it's real life funny. So that's what that's to give you a feel for what we're going through. That's why some of it is, the running joke is, Hippolytus is a C-list character. No one's ever heard of him before. They don't know who he is. And that's also going to be part of the humor. Because, you take a look, who is this person? It's a guy, and is he carrying a magic lasso? What? That type of incidental humor. Okay, but it's real life humor. So, this is Josie James, and we're going to go ahead and cut this off right now because Joe's stuff. Anyway, as I was saying, this is Josie James saying, take a look at both sides of an issue. Even though this wasn't about an issue, it's about what we're trying to do. But the other show, Prince of the Amazon, but take a look at both sides of an issue and decide for yourself. Don't let some loudmouth idiot, especially not me, tell you what to think. This is Josie James saying, have a good day.